Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I came across this video and I thought I'd share it because it is something you already need to see. And Trump actually was declaring war on migration, and he said it's Operation Aurora and Enemies Act 1798. And trust me, this is not looking good, right? From what he said that if you're an illegal migrant, they are going to deport you, and if you come back again, you will be sentenced to, I think, 10 years without parole and all that. And he also talked about gangs and all that, like there are gangs that he is also sent, like deporting all of them and all that. And then he talked about so many things, but man, the truth is that he also mentioned migrants. He's made mention that any migrant that kills American citizen, right? The person or an enforcement officer. I really do not understand where he talked about, because from the beginning he talked about illegal, right? And now he talked about migrants. You all already know that migrants are also, like people that are living legally, right? And so far, I rarely hear stories of migrants like probably causing a lot of problems. But then it is what it is. But you already be careful who you are voting. But I am not saying that I shouldn't vote. Go out and vote. Let's get.
San Antonio Police very aptly named their law enforcement effort Operation Aurora, because Aurora was the one that was first and got all that publicity. Announcing today that upon taking office, we will have an Operation Aurora at the federal level to expedite the removals of these savage gangs. And I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left in this country. And if they come back into our country, they will be told it is an automatic 10-year sentence in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
Okay. So first off, Operation Aurora in San Antonio, Texas, has resulted in over 300 empty apartments being inspected and searched for illegal immigrants. As a result, only 20 people have been arrested, suspected of being Venezuelan gang members, but nothing has been confirmed yet. As for the Alien Enemies Act, is a wartime authority that allows the president to detain or deport the natives and citizens of any enemy nation. The law permits the president to target these immigrants without a hearing and based only on their country of birth or citizenship. Although the law was enacted to prevent foreign espionage and sabotage in wartime, it can be and has been wielded against immigrants who have done nothing wrong, have evinced no signs of disloyalty, and are lawfully present in the United States. It is an overboard authority that may violate constitutional rights in wartime and is subject to abuse in peacetime. The most noticeable time when the Aliens Enemies Act was re-invoked was by Franklin D. Roosevelt during World War II. After the events of Pearl Harbor, he used it on mainly Japanese prisoners of war, and then took it a step further, using it on Japanese U.S. citizens who were here legally, and he put them all together in internment camps. I cannot find the words to even describe this act as anything other than dangerously biased. And then going back to what Trump said, this man's used the term illegal immigrants the entire speech. But when getting down to the death penalty, then he says any migrant. What do you mean by that? So that includes migrants of legal status? That include Haitian migrants that are here legally, that you already lied about saying that they're coming here illegally and eating people's pets? Will this apply to Asian migrants, who you already wrongfully blamed for COVID? Will this apply to Muslim migrants, who you already tried to inflict a travel ban on? Not to mention the fact that 23 states in the United States have abolished the death penalty. We have already seen what MAGA is capable of by storming the goddamn Capitol. What is to stop any of them from thinking they can take the law into their own hands and harm migrants of legal status just because they're suspected of doing a crime or because they're suspected of being illegal? U.S. citizens still are 2 times more likely to commit crimes than any illegal immigrant in this country. This was quite literally a declaration on war against migration. It is wrong and it is extremely dangerous. Get out and vote.
Okay, so boom, this message is for Black people and Black people only. If you're not Black, you are more than welcome to stay, listen, get educated, and help amplify this post by engaging. But let me be very clear, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Black people. Black people, we need to vote. We need to vote, and we need to vote like our lives depend on it, because we need representation in positions of power and leadership. There needs to be diversity in these spaces. And let me explain to you that I'm not just talking about our skin tone when I'm talking about diversity. Diversity in thought and diversity in understanding, because nobody understands Black issues and what Black people go through like Black people do. You can be an ally all you want to, and you can see it happening, but you will never understand how it feels to be a Black person in America unless you are a Black person in America. So Black people, we need to make sure we put people in spaces who understand us. Let me explain. I got a best friend. She's a nurse. She works in a hospital with majority white nurses. Well, she told me a story about how the other day there was this Black woman who was getting ready to have surgery, and the white nurses were going to shave her hair off before the surgery because they didn't know how to take out her weave. Thank God my best friend was there to represent and support this lady and took out her weave. Spent her time taking out this lady's weave so the woman could have surgery and didn't lose her hair. And let me be clear, white women, we've been on to y'all. Y'all with the shenanigans too. Y'all wear weaves too, so I don't understand why y'all didn't know how to do that. But that goes to show why representation matters. Another example. Thank you to everybody who helped push out the message about my brother. But let me be clear, it was a Black female attorney, shout out to Attorney Jasmine, who made the final call and the final push to get my brother released. And within hours, I got a phone call that my brother would be released the next day. And guess what? He was released. When it comes to education, nobody understands Black kids like Black people and Black parents. Them little boys ain't bad in your classroom because they loud and they happy and they joyful and they playing with their friends. That is their culture. That is how they've learned how to express their joy, and we shouldn't be suppressing that. You just need to learn how to deal with it. But unless you have Black people in spaces to train teachers to let them know how to deal with our culture, we will always be made to believe that we're misbehaving or we're ghetto. We don't know how to act, and that's not the case. And I can just hear y'all in the comment section getting ready to say with your whole chest, but they don't do nothing for us. You're right, they don't. So vote for people who do and vote for people who will. Case in point, we had to legislate our hair. We had to legislate that the way that we wear our hair, the different styles we wear our hair in, should not be deemed unprofessional, because there weren't people in spaces to represent us and make it be clear that Black people just have different hair than the rest of y'all. It was a majority white racist Supreme Court that decided, you know what, we don't really discriminate against y'all the way that we used to. Like, y'all should be okay with it now. We feel like, Black people, y'all doing that right. And they gutted the Voting Rights Act and said you don't need those protections. And lo and behold, look what happened. More laws went in place to prevent Black people from voting. I say all that to say that we as Black people have to advocate for ourselves, and our voices need to be heard. And the only...
So why do you think that 50% of white women are likely voting for Donald Trump? Because they're fucking racist. And what do you have to say to those women? Get out of Cracker Barrel and come into 2024?
So this is all I got from this video. I matched both together because they really also have something to say. The truth is that we, like she said, we absolutely need a representative, right? Because it's really very vital. Like, what is the essence of not having what do we gain if we do not have representative? right? So we need to like be up and doing, especially when it comes to like all rounds. I am not just saying only entertain, like all rounds. We need to dominate and all of that. But coming from the first video that the young man spoke about Donald Trump and the rest of it, man, the whole thing is really looking scary, you know. And from what he talked about Operation Aurora, right? And the Alien Enemies Act, I think 1798, right? And he actually declares war on illegal migrant, and at the same time ended up with a illegal migrants, and ended up with a illegal on migration, and then ended up with migrants. And I really do not know how, like, you know, from here to here. But the truth is that I am sure that he knew what he is saying. From Haitians are eating pets, eating dogs and cats and mouse and rats. Like, you know, the whole thing is that I really do not understand him a whole lot. But I am not saying or trying to tell anybody who to vote and who not to vote for, because I see a lot of people making so much big deal out of it. You know what you are going to vote and who you are going to vote for. But I sincerely hope that whatever you are doing will be worth it in the end and all that. And the whole war on migrant and all that, in the end, will also affect so many people, not just Black people, Haitians, other Black people that migrated and all that. There are so many of them because he is absolutely anti-migration, anti-everything. But then you all can say it. Project 2025, some people think it's a joke. It is not a joke. I mean, for whatever he's been saying, he meant everything. For those that are thinking that if anything, like if he wins and all that, it is all going to be better, or I don't think there will be anything super sweet or super great, because absolutely he is anti everything, and it is what it is. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.